Understanding the phrase, wind up in knots. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our English language learning series. Today, we're going to unravel the meaning of the phrase, wind up in knots. This interesting expression is often used in everyday English, and understanding it can really add color to your language skills. So, let's dive in and untangle its meaning together. First, let's break down the phrase literally. Wind up means to end up or to find oneself in a particular situation, often unexpectedly. In knots, literally refers to a piece of string or rope that is tangled into knots. When you combine these terms, the literal image is of something winding up so tightly that it forms knots. Now, let's explore the figurative meaning of wind up in knots. In a metaphorical sense, this phrase describes a situation where someone becomes extremely anxious, confused, or worried. Just like a rope that is tangled in knots, the person's thoughts or emotions are all mixed up and difficult to untangle. It's often used to describe stress or nervousness. To better understand, let's look at some examples. 1. Before exams, many students wind up in knots, worrying about their performance. 2. In social situations, if you're not comfortable, you might wind up in knots trying to figure out what to say. These examples show how the phrase can be applied in everyday scenarios. Here's how you can use wind up in knots in your own speech. When talking about stressful situations, like, I always wind up in knots before a job interview. To express sympathy for someone else's anxiety, like, you really wound up in knots over that presentation, didn't you? And that's a wrap on the phrase, wind up in knots. Remember, learning phrases like this can add depth to your English communication. I hope you found this video helpful and that you won't wind up in knots trying to use this phrase in the future. Keep practicing, and see you in our next lesson.